What's up, you guys? Today we are going to talk about how I became a professional Christmas caroler. So we are just wall to wall booked solid. Malls, private residences, parties, you name it. Wherever they call us, we go and we spread holiday cheer. What we're gonna do is a get ready with me. If you're not familiar with the GRWM genre, you can just get ready with me. So I'm gonna start out with the Smashbox SPF 20 primer. I came to Los Angeles with the intention of continuing my pursuit of film and television acting. I had done a significant amount of it in New York. When I came out to Los Angeles, things never play out the way you expect. I ended up doing a lot of more singing than I thought I would because I trained originally as a classical singer. I believe I was at a stand-up comedy show and the woman who was sitting next to me, she seemed perfectly nice. She goes, we were chit-chatting as you do. So I happened to mention that I was a singer, and this woman goes, oh, well, because we were saying, oh, who do you know in the show? Just basic chit-chat. And she goes, oh, well, I run a Christmas caroling group. Would you be interested in coming to audition for me? And I said, sure. And when you're a professional actor and you're approached in public, even if it's in a theater setting, and someone says to you, oh, I do this, maybe we could, you know, you have several things going on in your mind. Is this person legit? Is this person just trying to make conversation? Or do they seriously have an interest? And you're just basically networking, but you're also trying to get a gauge of what this person's deal is. And she gave me her business card. By the way, that was the Josie Moran Vibrancy Argan Oil Concealer, which I like very much. This shade is no longer available at Sephora, so that's kind of a bummer. Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation, which I do like for performance days. We see the show, and then I go home, and I thought, you know, let me just think on this for a while. I guess I had given her my card as well. Maybe a couple days went by, and then she called me. And she left me a voicemail and said, I'm serious about you coming to audition for me. I think you'd make a great Christmas caroler. You have a great look. You know, call me back. One of the things that makes people legit in my mind is when they follow up with me. And I try to follow up with people too, just to be professional. But I thought, oh, so maybe she is for real. I called her back. Oh, she goes, you're coming to my house to sing for me. And I thought, okay. And at this point, I felt as though I was 90% sure that this was going to be totally fine. And then I also thought, hey, you know, look, if I go audition for this woman and I end up, you know, I wake up in an ice bath downtown with my kidneys missing, then at least it's been a sweet ride, right? At least I died the way I lived auditioning. Specifically, she wanted me to sing without accompaniment, because part of the challenge of being a Christmas caroler is to be able to stay in tune with yourself, even when you can't hear anyone else. And I'll get into that later. But you are singing in quartets with 3 other voice parts. So you're the only one on your part. And so it's very important that you can stay solid in your part. So that's what she was testing me on. As a soprano, I will always err on the side of going sharper, which I think is a tendency for most sopranos. But I did go slightly sharp, but not, I don't think I was too off. So she said, that's what I was checking. You're pretty solid on staying in the key that you started in. So that was good news. And that was I think 8 years ago now, and I've been caroling with the music company ever since. Pat has been a very staunch supporter of me, an ally, and she is someone who does a lot of work for the singing community here in Los Angeles. And she gets us paid work, which is more than we can say for a lot of people in LA who want singers and musicians of all kinds to work for nothing. And she always fights to get us fair compensation. So I appreciate you, Pat. I'm going to go in. So this is the Natasha Denona Gold palette. And my camera has trouble focusing, not gonna lie. But I'm gonna go in first with this shade right here, which is called Sandstone. All right, this guy right here, the second one. We're just gonna get basic color down. The lighting for when I'm taping this is so much darker than when I actually normally do my makeup. I tried shooting this video earlier and the lighting was way too blown out, so I actually had to throw out all that footage. But I'm a newcomer to YouTube and there's a learning curve, very steep learning curve. So as you can see from my channel, the first video I uploaded was an entire Sephora haul that was out of focus. Yeah. And I'm not going to go back and reshoot that because the sale's over and, you know, the content of that video is not relevant enough for me to reshoot. But everyone has to go through this technical learning curve, rite of passage when they start YouTube, right? All right, so I'm just kind of fluffing this shade Sandstone into the socket line here and just get that color down. I have a tendency to not go far up enough close to my brow, so I'm trying to always be better at that. I always think I'm up near my brow and then I brush my brows up later and it ends up not being up far enough. So we're trying to do that. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with a more dense packing brush. I'm gonna use the shade, let's see. Let's go in with the shade Teak, which is this guy over here. I went to there first, right? Now I'm going here. So I'm going to go in with this shimmer shade Alchemist right here and layer it on top of the main lid shade Teak. It's Christmas caroler makeup, so we want it to be festive and special. Now, not every Christmas caroler does super fancy makeup, and you don't have to. I mean, it's not dictated from Pat that we do this, but I like to do very special festive makeup for Christmas caroling because it's Christmas. I want people, when they see me singing, to feel that they are seeing a show and that they are seeing something special and that I put out a lot of care and effort into my presentation of myself when I'm singing, no matter where it is. So I like to put forth this effort and time. This is a Morphe M507 brush. It's just a very thin, fluffy brush. I'm going to use this shade Sparks. It's a very snow white shimmery shade, and I'm going to put that on the brow bone. Let's brush the brows up, see what we got. So right around October, we start thinking about rehearsing the group as a whole. There's maybe 30 or 40. I think at one time there were 75 people total in the group. And then in each gig, Pat will that will put together quartets. So you're singing with 3 other singers, but depending on the place and who's available, you are singing with different people all the time. And that's why you have to be a good musician, because you have to be able to sing on the spot with people you might never sing with again the entire season. And you have to be able to really listen and blend with everybody, no matter who you're set up to sing with that day. All right, we got the brow bone shade down. Now I'm going to just try and blend the transition shade into the brow bone, like, so that I can have that blown out blended look. Yeah, that's not bad, right? The entire group, rehearsals are at different locations throughout town, depending on what's more convenient for you. Pat sets it up so that we can choose the rehearsals we want to attend. That works out for our schedule, usually on the evenings or weekends. Super bright gold shimmer shade called Oro, and I'm going to use that to create a halo look by just taking my finger and then tapping. Just gonna tap, 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 tap. Also use Fenty, this Fenty highlighter, Trophy Wife, and I'm gonna tap that on top of it just to be extra. My caroling makeup is so over the top, but when you see it with the whole look together with the costume and stuff, it does make sense, okay? The Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless, obviously I like it because I've panned maybe 3 of these already, but this is the shade this is the shade Fair, number 1. So every year around this time, I get to get ramped up in my mind mentally and vocally for caroling, and it just makes me feel good. It just makes me feel that I'm making the most of the holidays, right? Lunar Beauty Outer Dimension Face Palette. We're gonna go into the shade Deep Sky, and I'm gonna start to give my cheek a little bit of shape here. I'm using an angled brush. This is totally drugstore, found it millions of years ago. And the angled brush helps me because it just guides what I'm doing, because my skill level, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I'm just a makeup enthusiast. So I need an angled brush to give me some help here, right? Okay, see how it's already giving me an actual cheekbone because I have a round ass frying pan face. So yes, Deep Sky, we're gonna go into this side. Just like anything though, with makeup, the more you practice, the better you get. And then I'm gonna create I have this square ass jaw, so I like to give it a little bit more of a defined kind of look here. Okay, yay. I'm gonna use the shade Bronze Sky. The Trophy Wife makes her triumphant return. So we're gonna take this Fenty. Now this is a super intense highlighter, but I think it's justified for the holiday season and for the purposes of caroling. So we're gonna take, let's see, I think this is a Sigma brush. We're we're just gonna use that. Yeah, it's gold. It's gold-ass highlighter. It's bright-ass gold. And I know this is so intense, but I'm gonna drape it up here. You know what? I'm just gonna go hog wild with my makeup, and people are just gonna have to deal with it because it's the holiday season. I went and did my lash and my liner and my brows off camera. I can do a separate video if you're interested in that. But for now, we are going to move on to lip. I'm gonna use a ColourPop lip liner in, God, the shade is all faded off now, but it's a red. It's their red, and it's on its last leg because, hello, pencil part started coming out, but all right, it's still usable. Huda Beauty matte, one of those matte bullet lipsticks she has. This is the shade Promotion Day. This is a very matte formula, so it stays put throughout all this mouth moving and singing and sweating that I'm doing. Okay, I'm gonna blot that. Blot that whole thing. Then I'm gonna reapply just the lipstick. This increases the staying power by a lot. I've gone through a 4-hour singing shift without having to touch this up. We're basically done here. We did it. This is a Clinique Moisture Surge Face Spray. I use that as a setting spray because because it's not as drying as other setting sprays are. Okay, and this is the finished look. This is a classic caroling look for me, so I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, well, here I am in my full costume and my hair done. If you have any questions about what it's like to be a caroler, put them in the comments down below and I will answer them in my next video. This is my first Get Ready With Me ever, so it was a little rocky, but hope you enjoyed it. I hope to make more content like this in the future. And The Music Company is the name of the group that I Christmas carol with. And I hope we will be able to sing for you sometime in the future. Follow me on IG, Mickey410, and Twitter, Mickey410. And see you in the next video. Bye.